Hi, I am Jose Bermudez. The Jutes and Saxons were Germanic people who, in the 5th century, migrated to British Isles as the part Anglo-Saxon invasion. The Jutes originally for Germany and Denmark, and the Saxons from Northern Germany profoundly influenced the formation of the Kingdom of England, bringing with them new customs, language, and social structure that would transform the region. The Celts on hand were a network of tribes that stretched from Britain's isles to Central Europe, although they resist Roman conquest. Their cultural legacy, especially in art, religion, and traditions, remains present in Europe. Within Celtic society, the Druids were spiritual leaders, sages, and youths. They excelled in areas such as natural medicine and astronomy made essential to organization. They were responsible for religious rituals, education, and justice with their tribes, and their influence endured even after the revival of Christianity and Roman invasions. That are formed less continuity with companions.
Hello and welcome. Today we are joined by renowned British historian Aaron Childs to talk about the origins and legacy of Anglo civilization. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We can start. So, how did the Anglo civilization begin?
It all started in the 5th century when Germanic tribes, the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, migrated to Britain after the fall of the Roman Empire. Over time, um, they mixed with the local Celtic population and formed the early English kingdoms.
So, what about the Norman conquest?
Uh, the 1066 was a major turning point. The Normans brought strong French influences, especially in language and governance, but the Anglo-Saxon cultural core remained resilient.
Speaking about language, how did English develop?
The English evolved from Old English, but it absorbed elements from Old Norse, Norman French, Latin, and Greek. And that's why it's so rich, and also why spelling can be such a like a nightmare.
What legacy did the Anglo world leave behind?
About one, throughout the British Empire, Anglo culture spread globally. Today, the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand all share this cultural and linguistic heritage.
Oh, Professor, thank you so much for your insight.
My pleasure, history always helps us understand who we are.
Hello, I hope you are having a great day. I am Ismael Bautista, an expert historian of the cells and druids, and in this article, I will tell you about them, the importance of the cells and druids in history. The cells were a group of the tribes that inhabited Central and Western Europe from the 8th century until the 1st century, when they were defeated by the Romans. And now, for the ferocity in battle, they shared a similar customs and language. They were skilled in ironworking and excellent horsemen. Women played a significant role in Celtic society, holding leadership positions and fighting alongside men. Celtic social structure was key to their cultural development and territorial expansions. Specialization in areas such as metallurgy, agriculture, and religion allow the cells adapt to different challenges and environments. On the other hand, Druids We are a class or scholar within the Celtic cultures of the Iron Age, present in Britain, Ireland, and present-day France. Although they left no written records, much is known about them through accounts by Greek and Roman writers, as well as Celtic oral tradition. Druids perform essential functions in Celtic society, such as priests, youths, educators, advisors, and fortune tellers. They were wise and respect individuals with a deep knowledge of nature and the spiritual world, which grant them power within their community. And that's all for my part. For your attention, thank you.
In other news, I'm going to talk about Saxon culture. My name is Ana Sofia Cordova, and this is a little bit for this culture. The Saxon culture was new by the religion, social structure, and material structure. They were a Germanic people who live in Europe and immigrate to Britain. They believe in the Norse gods and everything that involves this religion. Their main god was Odin, and the Irminsul, a giant tree that connects the seven kingdoms, but they mainly the heaven. The Julefest is a celebration so important to Saxons because their beliefs. It was celebrated because represented the return of the light and warmth, starting after the winter solstice. Saxons society was divided into nobles, free people, and serfs slaves. They also had a law that prohibited marriage between classes. It means noble can only marry nobles. They were skilled craft workers who made jewelry, musical instruments like flutes, drums, etc. They spoke Old Saxons, also known as Old Low German. After the invasion into Britain, their language split into Old English and Old Low German.
Greetings and good day. Today I will start talking about the civilization of Utes. The Utes were one of the Germanic tribes that settled in Britain after the departure of the Romans. These people were from the three most powerful nations of Germany: the Saxons, the Angles, and of course the Utes. The inhabitants of Kent and the Isle of Wight are descended from the Utes, as well as those of the province of the West Saxons, which is still called Jutes and which is located opposite the Isle of Wight. Their origin are far away, and they were natives from Jutland, today Denmark. The Jutes belonged to the barbarian peoples, considered as such by the Romans according to their criteria for their primitive customs and for living outside the boundaries of the Roman Empire. Barbarian means foreign. They were Germanic and shared the territory with some neighboring people of similar origin. To the north of them were the Danians, who gave rise of the Danish people. To the south settled the Saxons, and to the east of them the Angles. On the eastern islands the Frisians settled. Their language and writing were a part of the runic alphabet, is thought to have originated in Germanic lands that were in contact with the Roman Empire, and as such was a response to the Latin alphabet. In fact, some of the runes emulated their Latin counterpart.